everyone. As we get into this evening's live, a few things that we're going to go over this evening. And we're going to get back to some old ways in regard to one asset. But I'll save myself from talking about that until everybody gets in here, until we get situated here, and until, this gets pushed out. And we have our active discussion. I do want to thank everybody for tuning in if you are here right now. If you're watching this after the live is already out, please make sure to hit that like button. It really does help push this through the algorithm. It allows YouTube to, push it through so more people will see it, especially when they come on to YouTube. They'll see it when they come on their live. When they come on, scroll through their YouTube feeds, this will come up. So that's what the like can do. So please make sure to do that as you come in. Trading with J Ride, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 3 years with the XRP Diamond Hands badge. John Bugathorpe, welcome in. Papa Willie, good evening, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 6 months with the XRP Predictor. Reina, welcome in. Nazir, good evening. Big Dog, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for your first month with the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. And that is my face superimposed on there, so I know it's the first month. Soul of Jeffy, welcome in. Ringnock says, Tommy Two Guns, welcome in, friend. Jermaine, good evening. Timothy Perez, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for 3+ months with the XP Meteor, along with Joseph. Good evening to you both. Fernando, good evening, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 3 long years with the XP Diamond Hands badge. The 4-year badge is available, just nobody's gotten to that level yet. It's almost time. Well, Rob, good evening. Frankie, Fresh, and also Jacoby, thank you both for being in Tom's Army for 3+ months with the XP Meteor. And Jacoby, I'm so blessed to know that you made it here for the live. I love it. I know you've been trying. It means a lot to see you in here. Syrian, good evening, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 6 months with the XP Predictor and being a very trusted mod. Thank you so much for that. Marco Tremblay, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for 3+ months with the XP Meteor. Jose, good evening. Watch, recycle, repeat. Yes, indeed. Watch the content, recycle to friends and family, and come back and watch the next update, live and or short. Repeat. And thank you for being in Tom's Army for over 3 years with the Diamond Hands badge, friend. Hamza, good evening. I much appreciate seeing you in here as always. Been in here for a long time. Summit Pro, good evening. Mark Caston, good evening, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year, or what is that? Yeah, over 1 year with the I Told You So Bad. Sorry, it's blending into my the back screen. Dwight, good evening. Thank you very much. Says you're awesome. Shane, welcome in and good evening. Jessica Garcia, welcome, love, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 3 years with the XRP Diamond Hands badge. And I noticed you're getting close to the 4-year badge. And man, in the mornings, if you appreciate how we do the morning updates now, I've switched my technology. It's a 32-inch screen, much nicer. I didn't like the 42-inch screen. I thought it was slow. I didn't think it was sleek enough, and I didn't like the way it looked. And the touchscreen was nice, but it wasn't, the responsiveness wasn't 100% like I wanted it. So I'll give you a preview. I've actually got the other one set up. How many people are in here? Here, I'll show everybody. You let me know what you think. I need to know if you can hear me, though, when I do this. Can you hear me? Out of curiosity, can you hear me? Yes, no, maybe. Actually, you know what? How stupid is this? I could just... Okay, you can hear me now? Can you hear me when I do this? Now I need to know, can you still hear me? Okay, so you guys can still hear me. I wonder... Why am I not hearing me on this? So you can still hear me with this screen, right? Okay, less. Okay. It's so weird because now I can't hear it on mine. So you guys can hear it both ways. That's interesting. Yeah, see? So you can only hear it when I do it on the picture, which sucks because it doesn't look as good. So here. You're not going to hear me talk, okay? You're not going to hear me talk. But I want to show you this, okay? You won't hear me talk when I put it on the video. but I want to show you at least the difference. So you won't hear me. So okay, now you'll be able to hear me again, but whenever I put it on video, you can't hear me. But when you put it on, when I put it on photos, you can't hear. But that screen, that's a 4K, but the screen is much nicer. And it's set up like a higher class TV as well. Like the way it's made, the design's better. It's more sturdy and it looks a lot better. So that's gonna bring a lot of value in the morning. It's gonna bring a lot of value because it's gonna be better visuals, and I'm gonna be sitting in my chair. With the way I have this set up, I'm gonna sit in my chair so I won't be in the way, and I'll be sitting there so the camera will see me. We'll be sitting, we'll having a nice discussion. I'll be able to move it and change things up by touch. So I think it's gonna be spectacular. So we'll continue to innovate in the morning. At night, we continue to do these lives on the screen, record on my own screen, the casting of it. And then I'll still do the shorts, but I'm just trying to keep it fresh. I had a lot of work I did today in the garden. We'll talk about that. I'll show you pictures of it in a little bit. But first, XRP. I mean, we're retracting a little bit. I mean, we're having a little bit of a pullback, but it's nothing to be surprised about. We didn't get past 265 for what, a second time here in the last couple of days. Let me get to the right chart. Well, we drew that out as the cup. That's just something we thought we'd have to get past, something like that. But that's not the chart I want, if I'm being honest. Here we go. So this is the one we really need to pay attention to, because this is where we broke out of the pattern formation, this big descending formation. But we got to get over that 265. Right now, we got a perfect double top, which means now, since we didn't gather the strength, we might be coming back down here in a weird way if this loses the 20-day here in the 4-hourly. I remember in the morning update, we talked about the 2-hour time frame. And we talked about how we were at least riding on the 20-day, and now we've lost that. So this is a big difference from this morning to now. Remember, we were riding up the 20-day. And at least this morning we are still, now we came below it, and now we're using it as a rejection, which means now we're going to have to look at the 4-hour time frame and try to see where this lines up, or the 30-minute we look for the 200-day. So 4-hourly lines up right about there at 252, which is that nice support. 30-minute, now you start talking if 252 doesn't hold. Now you got this near support in the 30 that you're going to try to hold. That'll probably run out like this, because we're going to try to see if we've lost the short-term support. And if we did and we start flipping, well, that's going to force us into a head and shoulders or some kind of topping reversal here. And this could get dicey rather quickly. It's going to come back and retest somewhere between 236 and possibly as low as 235 over the top. And then if it comes down there, I really believe we would just come to 229, because that's our fair value gap. That, if anybody remembers, when we came to 232, yeah, technically we were able to move up and we were bullish, but at the same time, we never cleared that gap. So now, if we come through 235, my fear is even if we hit 229, we've gained enough steam over the top to where now we would just come back to like that 216. Maybe it would have to ride all the way out, and we'd come where it meets here, kind of like where all roads meet at 210. But it definitely opens the door for something more to the downside if this doesn't pan out in a quick way. It's not that we're bearish overall. It's just we've left certain areas where, you know, in the future it can come to bite us in the dick. But with that being said, good evening. 7:27 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Wednesday, May 14th, 2025. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. Not bad. I like water. Nice bear flag here as well. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news in this live. I don't even know if I can see the comments anymore. I think they stopped. I think when I went into my my camera, it stopped. YouTube's kind of slow. It's not exactly sure what it's doing. So you can't really poke the bear, so to say. I poked the bear. Yeah, I mean, if this comes down, I'm just saying this is it's lining up with a retest here. I don't know what to say. I don't want to be the dick or the bearer of bad news, but it's lining up for a retest. I'm not gonna come on here and say, "Oh, this is looking great," when it's looking like trash right now. That's just short term. That's why I said in the title. Did you see how I strategically worded the title today? Oh, it was strategic. XRP macro shows historic move coming. But I didn't say micro, I said macro. Because in the macro, this looks absolutely freaking fantastic. From a macro perspective, we're still working to get into our fifth wave. We're also working on putting in a historic move to going over not only $4 but $5 for the first time. So from a macro perspective, I've never been more bullish. From a micro perspective, well, you know, we failed to get into the demand zone, which now means we're going to have to back test this inverse head and shoulders. So on Wednesday, could it be like a, could be something. But we'll see. We haven't given up the 20-day yet here in the 4-hourly. So, but we definitely leave some stuff to be desired. For the short term, see how this is falling out initially? Now we need to get the bounce back up and do it in a quick way, and then we're fine. But it does seem to be losing a little bit of steam. It looks like, to me, it was probably in a rising channel. Oh, I know, I hate those words too, right? Even if you come here to there, I think it was, and we talked about this before about it being in a rising channel. What is it? Probably Monday during the live we talked about this. We've got a more concise pattern now because of the way it just fell out. But that's absolutely, looks like a rising channel. I mean, a rising wedge. Yeah. I'm going to say that's, I mean, you could say it's a rising triangle, but it almost looks rising wedgy. Like, it looks like almost bearishly topping reversal-ish. That's what I'm starting to get out of this. It's exactly what we talked about the other day, too. But I think we can give it a little grace and say, well, it hasn't fallen out yet because we could do it like that. And that's what I'm going to do. In the hindsight of having the newest evidence, this is what we're doing. I sweat so much in the garden. I got to get more water. I'm replenishing right now. I guess I can utilize, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put my my comments on this big-ass screen. Ha! How do you like that, YouTube? You don't show me the comments, so I'm just going to put it on my 32-inch screen that I'm going to roll right next to me. See if anything else, if for any other reason, I needed to get this. If anything else, if for any other reason... Oh, I need to turn the volume down. Hold on, everybody. I gotta finish doing this so that I can see the comments. I apologize. YouTube's not letting me see the comments, which it's not unusual. It's really not. Wish I could see more of the comments than just that. Oh, that'll work. That'll work. Look at that. I can see it perfectly. All right. This is great. I'm just going to turn this on now, guys. I can see the comments perfectly. I don't even need to put it across my screen now. Now it's not going to bother you guys anyhow. It's not. I'm going to turn these off. Now you're not going to have to worry about it coming across the screen. Tom, I cannot find moving averages by day count, like 20-day, etc. So can you show how to get them? Oh, my God. This is life-changing. I'm putting this right next to me. Like, you guys can't see it. But literally, this is the best thing I've done in a very long time to be able to stay on task. Wow. Awesome. I can show you how to get the moving averages for sure. So let's see if YouTube's or if this has done anything. So favorites, I just literally go into your indicators and type in Dr. Sweets. That's it. Type in Dr. Sweets, EMA 20, 50, 100, 200. And then just, you can even type in EMA. It should come up. Why isn't it coming up? Is that because I already have it? Probably. Yeah, that is exactly why. But if you type in EMA, go to community, where it shows community. Oh, see, I can see it on my TV now, just like you guys are seeing this. This is great. Now I can see exactly how you guys are seeing it. Oh my God, this is what I needed to do a long time ago. See, I wouldn't even have thought of this typing thing being in the way, but now I can see it on the screen right next to me. So I'm like, well, that's rather fucking annoying. So I take it off. Oh, wow. And now I look like an idiot how it is. Now I move it up. Hey, look at that. Constant improvements. Anyhow, the EMA lines in the community come down here, and it's going to be mine starred, but you're going to have to search through. But if you just type in the 2050, 100, oh. Yeah, oh, 20 I'm sorry. I forgot. This is where you have to be precise. 50, 100, 200. So type it in like that, and then it's going to come up with all of them. See all of these different moving averages? It's going to I like the Dr. Sweets one. It's the one, I've went through them all. It's just the one that seems to, you know, mess with me at a little less. John Patak, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 2 years with the XRP 589 Moon Badge. Crypto Cooter, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army 3+ months with the XRP Meteor, along with McMichael. This is unbelievable how much easier this is to see this stuff now. No, Ryan, I do not drink tap water. I'm afraid to drink it out of the tap. So, I do not. I do not. So, that's how you do that. So just, Vitodamus, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. Nick, I'm glad to see you in here, my friend. Glad to see you in here. Tomorrow, when I do this live, I can't wait. I can't wait, because it's going to be on the new screen. And, it literally makes me so happy. I'm going to show it one more time, and then we're going to get into this even more. But that's the new screen. Oh, I forgot I changed it on mine, so you're going to have to, but you get it for 2 seconds, right? But yeah, so I think it'll be cool. I think you guys are really going to enjoy it. It's much nicer to look at than the other touchscreen that I had. And I still have that touchscreen, but I gave it to I'm letting my son, who's got sensory issues and he's special needs. He started using it today, and his educational stuff that he does, I put it right on that touchscreen. Oh, he loved it. He absolutely loved it. So I'm making sure to not put it to waste. So I do appreciate everybody who's part of Tom's Army, because you guys allowed me to get this done. Like, this isn't me, this is you guys. Like, everything I'm looking at is because of the people that support my channel. I can't stress it enough how important you guys are. Like, seriously. But we can go over Alchemy Pay as well. XDC news. Okay, so XDC, and this is something that I'm doing every single day when you guys see me live now. So we're gonna have Motivated Mondays. What do we call it for Tuesdays? Testicular Tuesday, Winning Wednesdays. I want to make sure that I'll just read you guys it, but this is what I put, and I'll let you, if you're in the Telegram, you can get this before we are on live, so you would have seen this already. But I just put down, where was this earlier? We had a lot of comments today. So XDC, we're doing Motivated Mondays, Testicular Tuesdays, Winning Wednesdays, Thrifty Thursdays, and FOMO Fridays. Some of you remember how we used to do it, but there's a reason why, just like before. Oh, this is my expansion to the garden too, since it's here. So I built this. I took down the old thing I had, and I built that around it. I have a little greenhouse next to it. I put in 400 gallons of topsoil and manure right there in front of the strawberries because I added to it. I'm keeping the grass on the one side so I can work, and I have a box there for the stuff that I want to keep separate. And then I also put in a watermelon / pumpkin patch. There's 2 watermelon. There's a citronella on the front left. But that's 1,500 gallons of topsoil. It took so much. It took me like 4 or 5 days to do all this. So it'd be nice. It's going to be nice. But I'm trying to be self-sufficient in the backyard, and it's going to take years. But I got peach trees back there, apple trees, blackberries now back there. And then all the stuff I'm growing right now with it. So we'll see what happens. But with XDC, the big thing is XDC. I went out on the pattern. And I'm a big fan of XDC, and they have it on BITUNIX. So I went into the chart, and I've been looking at it very deeply so that I don't forget about this. So when I even had Julie look at this, I deleted everything so that I can do this with you guys. And she's like, whoa, I see what you're saying. And it's not as easy to see in the weekly, but once you put it into the monthly and you look at the all-time setup, you start to be like, well, what the hell is actually going on here? And what I started to come up with here, and you know, when you actually look at it, I'm going to show you it from the monthly and then into the weekly. And like you can see it in the monthly, but when you start breaking this down into the weekly with XDC, you start to see that we are on an all-time inverse head and shoulders, it looks like, with a perfect W reversal as the inverse head. And now it looks like in real time we're working on an inverse right arm that could possibly take us as far down to 4 or 5. And that's why I said to everybody, I will buy this until it hits 10 cents or until it goes down to as low as it's going. But my tap out range where I won't buy XDC anymore, and I've done this with a ton of tokens. I used to do it with XRP when I said I wouldn't buy it over a certain range. And I'm doing this with XDC now. It's no different than with DGB, how I said I won't buy it over a cent. So even if I had more ideas, I just won't buy it. So XDC, I won't buy it over 10 cents. I don't care how good it is. I know it's not expensive at 10 cents. Believe me, you're preaching to the choir. I get it. I have 40,000 tokens right now. But every single day until it gets over 10 cents, I don't care if it's at 7.5. I don't care if it's at 2.5. I don't care if it's 9.7 cents, 6.4, 3.1, 0.007. Until it gets over 10 cents, I'm going to buy it every single day. Every single day as if it's on routine. Like there won't be a day I don't buy it. So right now, I'm going to buy it with all of you. So what I'm going to do, how are we going to do this? I'm going to buy $200. I'm going to buy $200 today, just because. And how much? Let's see. And I'm going to do this every single day. So I'm going to do 2,500 tokens a day. $186.72. Buy XDC. Clear. So now I have 42,750 XDC now. And I'm going to do this every single day. So right now I have 42,270 XDC. And XDC, you can buy it on BITUNIX. They have it now. Just real quick, if you want to buy it, go to my homepage, click on these links, and you can go right to it. I'll drop a link in the video chat that we have right now, but they do have the lowest spot and leverage trading fees. I'm not done with XDC, but take advantage of this now, and don't use an exchange where they charge you all these fees for buying spot, because if you buy it on BITUNIX, you're not going to pay. There's practically no, it's like stealing. I've had so many people tell me, I wish I would have known this. I wish I would have listened. I wish you would have talked about it more. Well, there's no excuse. I'm going to talk about it in a way to where you can feel it. Like, If I would have used this back in 2021, I wouldn't have lost almost 2 grand using Uphold when we had that miraculous run in the bull market. I wouldn't have been afraid to swing trade. I wouldn't have been afraid to make 2-3x, sell it, and then buy back after a 30% drop. That's what can open up the door on BITUNIX. Instead of having to deal with it to where, like on crypto.com, I couldn't sell my DGB when it was about to have a 13% drop because it's about 8% in and out with high times of volatility, about 7.5%, 8%. When there's high times of volatility of how much it's going to cost you in fees. So for a net 5% gain, it's not worth it. So I decided to buy 400,000 more DGB when it made the drop to 8.4, but it had me by the nuts because I couldn't just sell it and rebuy it back in. So a similar strategy you guys see me do with commodities, with my mining stocks. I can't do it in crypto on certain exchanges. So there, I pinned that for BITUNIX. Julie, look what I did. You know how it never lets me see the comments? Well, I don't show the comments on YouTube anymore. Look what I ended up using. Oh, yeah, you'll see me after. We'll look at XRP healthcare in just a sec. So take advantage of that. I mean, it's difficult to find something that'll find everything.
Oh, yeah.
If I'm being honest. Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
Much better, right?
Yeah.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Look at me. I know my screen that I'm reading my stuff on is like 4 times bigger than my actual tablet. Which is good because I can't see. But yeah, so with XDC, I want to draw this in though, like in a real way. Because if this does come down at all, and we do see this, because in the weekly we have this golden cross where we're being supported on the 20-day, and it doesn't seem to have maximized this move yet. But I could see a scenario where we did come down, and we would end up fighting this area for an all-time breakout. But in time, this is, to me, it reminds me of XRP before the breakout. You can go from the top to the top, and just roll with me for a second here. Don't be like, oh, you know, yeah, look how high it is over the top. We always get rejected. Oh, what the hell? We always get rejected, and it's not going to do what we want it to. It's going to. It's really going to. It's just, it takes time. It takes time. I don't want that. Don't like that. I don't want the trend line either. Why is it doing it like that? Why is it making it look like that? Huh? Yeah. Of course you can. But we got resistance. Can anybody remember XRP when we were coming through the all-time pattern and how it was looking as we continuously, and I mean continuously, kept coming through and we were trying to find a way to end this pattern? So if you start looking at it more like this, but you can cut through if you want, but I wouldn't advise it. To me, it looks like we started to reverse here when we went through this area, and then we came down and did it again. So I'm looking at it something like, and I'm trying to make this as appropriate as possible when I'm looking at this pattern, but I'm having one issue. Actually, not as big of an issue as I thought, because this can be filled out. And then what I try to do is I just try to meet this just like the pattern's trying to show us. So what I will say is I do think that it is appropriate to start here and cut through the bodies of these. I do, because I think those were kind of like wicks down. And then you get the breakout off of support. I think it's appropriate just like that, especially if you're doing it like this. But then when you look at this, this gives you the totality of like, if this really wanted to take forever, XDC could take forever. It's just, this is kind of like your, what's the worst case scenario that we have to sit here for until it's actually filled all the way out in this perspective? And you're like, well, you know, that's kind of a big pattern. But then you got to remember, those are just the weekly wicks. So you can fine tune this a little bit and be like, oh, well, you know, it's not that bad. I mean, it's bad, but it's not that bad. You know, it could be worse. And I would just say you could do something like this. No, it was up here. Then we tap this, something like that. So you can see we've already broke out of the first tier. So we've accomplished that agenda. So the next agenda would absolutely be to get to that next tier. And you'll end up being able to see when you have a consolidation like this. And like technical analysis for some people, they're like, oh, it's trash, it's shit, it's whatever. Well, what's the best area to get us to that spot if we're doing it from the chart? It seems to show us like if we hit somewhere around here, but we broke out here and look, it hit the technical move, right? So even if we didn't know that was there, we would have known the technical move was up. So it's already filled that move. Now we're looking for a back test or a hold at some point here. If we hold this, then we're going to make a second attempt back up here. And then once we bust out, it ends up becoming a move to where once you make this move, it's going to be like XRP. It's going to start to price you out at smaller levels. Now, mind you, we're very cheap still. So it's not like it's going to price you out entirely. This will be back. But think about it from an XDC perspective. If you had to wait to buy, why isn't this showing the arrow? Wow. I always notice different things that are different on their updates. But this one is a stupid one. Like there used to be an option to put an arrow across. That's so funny. That is so funny. It's like they're taking stuff away one by one until they become irrelevant. It's weird. Huh. Looks like I'm going to have to go through the... Yeah, it looks like I'm going to have to go through the stuff again and try to figure out what they changed. Interesting. But anyhow, it would come up here to about that 30.5 cents. And then it would probably just keep going. I mean, XDC is so undervalued. Between XRP, XLM, and XDC, the best deal is XDC. At this point, at these levels, at the places where it hasn't broke out, this is the best deal. That's an all-time inverse head and shoulders. You're not going to convince me otherwise. Unless this whole thing breaks down. That is lined up as an all-time inverse head and shoulders. It's so freaking insane. So freaking insane. How many likes do we have? 86 likes. Not bad. Not bad. If you appreciate my show, consider joining Tom's Army so I continue to upgrade it. Continue to reinvest into the program. I love doing it. Because of you guys, I'm able to improve what I'm doing. Some people are out of XDC. I see. You can be out of XDC. I got no problem with it. It's just I'm investing and continuing to buy as if it comes down, because it looks like we could come down here a little bit. If we come back all the way down to like 3.54 cents, I'm going to have a lot more XDC than I do now. The goal would be to just keep buying it until it goes over 10 cents. And I think this is what I want to do. This is one of them that I really want to. I have 2 million DGB. It's not going nowhere. But I think I've bought as much DGB as I can possibly buy. You know, my goal is 100,000 DGB. I got 2 million. So I'm definitely overachieving when it comes to DGB. I do love XDC too. So we'll keep an eye on that. XRP Healthcare. We're still waiting for the actual breakout. It's going to take time. But once we get out of this, it's going to be massive. This isn't an all-time cup and handle. So eventually, this is going to pay dividends. We bought it at 1.7 cents. So, I mean, it's moving up nicely. Well, 2 cents. But, you know, it's moving nicely. It's doing what it needs to do. It's going to start to round this bottom here eventually, which it's trying to as we speak. You know, in the last couple of weeks, we certainly look like we could be putting in those bottoming phases. And this is kind of what you want to see. Now we're trying to get to that first tier breakout. We got that descending resistance. The problem is everything across the board's put in these bearish patterns right now. In the last several hours, we've put in these bearish dojis or a gravestone doji. And obviously that's just my interpretation, so, you know, what do I know? But that's my interpretation. So, second biggest bag, crypto plumber, excellent. Excellent. Oh, me too, crypto plumber. I have 60... What was it? 63,000, I think, when we checked. It was either 62 or 63,000 of XRP healthcare. I'm sitting with it until it's ready. And I think there's going to come a time when it's over $1. I don't think that's any question. I'm just waiting for this one to be long term. We're talking like 2030 and beyond is probably when we're going to be sitting here saying, can you guys believe in 2024, 2025? We were buying XRP healthcare for pennies, and now it's X amount. I think that's going to be one we're going to be talking about for a long time. And they're just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. I'm hoping gold and silver is finally done with that little pullback, but, you know, I don't think so. I think we're just getting started. I told everybody not to buy mining stocks for a minute. I'm liquid right now, so... I took, so far in savings, I was able to take another 3,500 and finish my contribution for the 2024 or 25 or 24 tax season. No, 25 tax season. And I was able to finish my contribution in my IRA because it's $7,000 a year. I started it last year. Now I have 14,000 plus. It's in the emerging markets funds. I'm glad I brought that up because I'm just going to keep you guys updated at what I actually have. But these are up to the minute, up to the date. And the Vanguard ones haven't changed, but those are the Fidelity ones are the two newest ones. But they're just going to be in there for 25 years until I'm 65. And I'm going to do 7,000 a year, 25 years. That'll get you close to 200 grand. But without all the because they're monthly dividends that are paid as well. And then obviously the appreciation of the emerging markets over 25 years. I think it's going to be zeros are added to these, but that's just forward thinking. But I need something to write off on taxes, so you get to write 7,000 a year off. So that's just a strategic way to do it. I'm not doing the other IRA. I'm not doing 18,000 a year. I'm not investing that much. I have no interest in getting rid of that much of my money for a long time. I'd rather buy gold and silver, but this is a way that I can use the tax code to my advantage. That's why I do it. And then it's not bad. You build up a nice nest egg while you're trying to save some funds. Because then you're old. Let's say you made 50 grand. Fine. Let's go to 100 grand because then we can do it by percentages. And then you get to write off 7 grand. Now you've wrote off 7% of your total earnings. So now you pay taxes on only 93,000 instead of 100,000, which means you have 7% less pay that you have to claim. Now, like, I have standard deductions because I'm a 1099 worker with YouTube and things like that, so that takes off, I think, 19,000 from the top. So now 19,000 plus 7,000. You know, so now 26% if you're making 100 grand is written off, and now you only have to pay taxes on 74. See what I'm saying? So just little things. But hopefully they make it exempt for us to pay on capital gains in the USA. It's coming. Missouri's trying already, but it is coming. So, yeah, but we'll keep watching all of this. It's been a busy day. It's been a damn busy day. DGB down 0.75%, sitting at 1.17 cents. Like, I never felt better about adding to DGB as I did on that last drop where I do the rounding of the bottom. It came right there and hit that support structure almost perfectly. I just said, fuck it. We called that out of the rising... Oh, I don't know where the second part of the rising wedge is. But we called that drop, the rising wedge, that would come down to that support structure. And it did, and it did it perfectly. We don't need that in there. We can delete that. And now it's leveling up. Look at this. Even in the 3-hourly... What do I usually say about DGB? When the rest of the market struggles, that's usually when DGB will start to make some noise. And right now, DGB in the last 6 hours, it's reversed very strongly. Very strongly. Any chance we're being... Oh, there's always a chance. But I would like to look at it a bit differently. Is there any chance that all of these YouTubers that keep calling for a rug pull, that this is exactly why you should be buying? I want them to be calling for rug pulls. Remember when I called for a rug pull in late December, early January, and everybody was stoked and thinking that we're going up and I'm getting shit, and all the other YouTubers are saying 10, 15, Bitcoin to $1 million, and I'm the one sitting there like, oh no, this is where you got to take profits and this is where we're going down. Now they're all trying to say we're going down. I'm like, oh no, like look at these charts. Don't look like we're going down. Like for DGB, looks like we're about to break up here. And I'm not saying we can't break down, but what I am saying is I'd be surprised at this point if we just give it all back. Remember, they're calling for this crash, and now all of a sudden we're up 30, 40% from those lows where we were supposed to crash from. That was a crash. Nick's in here. That was a legitimate crash when we went to $1.60 or 61. The only reason that it bothered me is Bitcoin did exactly what it needed to do. I called that Bitcoin drop from December, and I'm not tooting my own horn, but it made me happy when somebody said, if Bitcoin goes to 74K, you're the greatest person who's ever done technical analysis. There is no way Bitcoin's going to 74K. And the person went on to say, and I know your history because I was here when you said XRP was going to 52 cents, but I just don't believe Bitcoin's going to 74K. And what happened? Bitcoin went to 74K on the nuts. And then we bounced out. And these things happen. These things happen all the time. And I don't know where the broadening wedge went, but it was there. I guess I got sick of it. Sometimes I get bored of the patterns. Here, we'll redraw it out. But, you know, it's one of those things. Like, how bearish do you really think we are when we got that massive inverse head and shoulders? How far down do you think we're really going to go with that big bull flag sitting there? And if it does break down from here, you might as well just kiss your ass goodbye because this rally is over. We're going to 64K if it were to break down. And it's back to the bearish, the bear markets. I might want to look at Magic. I don't even know what the hell that is. Magic the Gathering Dragon? Like, I'll look at it, but I don't know what Magic is. Nick says exactly, but see, Nick knows. I knew it. I knew he was in here. I knew I seen him comment. But yeah, Nick, that's the thing. They choose try to scare everybody too. Crazy Paul, and thanks for being in Town Zone for 6+ months with the XP Predictor. If you guys don't want to join Telegram for me, for God's sake, join it for Nick. He's in there with all these charts. I know a lot of people ask him what he's doing, and I know, you know, he'll help you. He'll show you all of his stuff. He'll take you outside of the Telegram to his own personal space, I'm sure, and talk to you as well. So if you need help, he's freaking amazing, especially if you're trying to learn the fair value gaps and things like that. He's got a lot of knowledge, and I've learned a lot too. You know, it's a nice community we have in there. But this, I'm sorry, this looks like a huge inverse. I mean, it's not that it looks, it is. It doesn't just look like it, and it did what it needed to do. It dumped down to that 74K. The only thing XRP did wrong was it didn't come down to $1.50. And I said at the time, I'm going to be pissed this whole way up. Because, yeah, it's technically bullish, but now we know that gap sits there. But we said the same thing at 91 cents or 92 cents. Well, I'm pissed that XRP didn't hit that fair value gap on the way back. And here we are at $2.55. So, I mean, just pay attention. Like, if this... Now, maybe it does need to go... But that is still only going to bring us to a neckline area of about 88, even if that had to happen. But that, to me, looks like we're building something. Could it be a little early? Sure, it could. But massive crash? Maybe if you consider 15%, that's a possibility. Especially if we don't break out here. Gotta love Tom's reporting. Can you handle the truth? That's basically the way it goes. Me and Tom have been through the same stuff with stocks, and it's so applicable to crypto as much as people. It sure is, Nick. And by being in the stocks before and being in trading, mining, and commodities, and just being in different markets, you can certainly see the correlation. The only difference with crypto that makes it difficult is there's no earnings. Like, we can't see an earnings. We can't see revenue shares and things like that. So it makes it a lot harder to know where to invest. The good news is the flip of the clock happened, and XRP very easily held that 252 support cycle. Absolutely, I can pin the Telegram for sure. I will take over the BITUNIX comment for that. Well, actually, I think I can pin them both. But if I can't, I'm just going to pin the Telegram, and then the BITUNIX one will go away. Let's see. But I think it's very helpful, not even if you don't want Nick's help or my help. It's very helpful, I think, to be in the community because there's no expectation. The only expectation I have is that anybody in there, you treat everybody with respect, you have integrity, you show humility, and we're there to help. It's not just about XRP. You're allowed to talk about other things, but there are no second chances, as many have found. There's no second chance. If you're a dick, you're gone. I don't have time for that. I'm not a child. I don't recommend you being one. I don't play the victim. We play winners in our community. We're positive, not negative. So we can't have that negativity. Otherwise, it'll shine through. So we just stay positive. So if you don't fit our agenda, it wasn't meant to be, and there's no hard feelings. I guess that's the best way to put it. But we don't hate you. That's all. So here's the Telegram. Replace pinned comment. There you go. So if you want to join the Telegram, there it is. And we're coming down towards the end of this live. We're already at 47 minutes. I know my son's gonna be going to bed soon. Julie's gonna want me to hang out with her too. I don't blame her. We literally just, huh? Yeah, who doesn't want to hang out with me, Julie said. They try to kick me out every day. Nonsense, James. That's tomfoolery. Tom, can you print it? I did, Mr. Kupiak. I think I did because you asked me. That's Cape Cod Kyle from Massachusetts, not Florida, as I not once, twice, or 3 times, but maybe 4 to 6 times looked like a jackass. And said he was from Florida, and he's like, I certainly am not. Of course, the guy from Michigan couldn't get it right. Look at that education system. And I can't disagree with you. It's trash around here. But we do the best we can us up here in the north. Oh, I know you are, James. I know you are. AUW says, watching the live mid-flight. Appreciate your work time. Hey, I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
T appreciates it too.
T does too. Yeah, T's very happy right now.
Woo.
I know. Don't say it, Crypto Plumber. Don't talk about the Head and Shoulders, sir. We're not interested in your Head and Shoulders. No. No. The problem is if we get rejected at 265 or 294, that can technically be the right shoulder. I've been saying this the whole time. To me, this could have been, but it's too early. This could make the real defined either this is a resistance and comes down, or this is where we break out. Shame on me for forgetting at the like button. I would have never known. We have 100. Look at that, 110 likes now, 111. Maybe that was Nick. But that's a great ratio, 111 out of 120, 119. I scared somebody away. That's okay. Tom, your thoughts on whether XRP might use $1.50 as new low after hitting new all-time high or 5? I would have liked us to take out that $1.50, but my opinion would be if we go to 549, I think we use $3.40 as the new support. If I had to guess, I think that 340 area is going to be a great area to use as support because it was resistance 1, resistance 2, 7 years later. We finally powered through it, and I think it would take a very substantial back test to prove that whole demand zone has now become support. So I think we would find ourselves back into this demand box But I don't think we'd come to the bottom. I think we'd probably end up somewhere in this zone. Probably somewhere around here. I think that's what we would probably do. It'd probably be something like in this zone. Because I want to make sure that this is in the proper context. Because I think how we've proved it in the past would be something like that. But this needs to be... I don't think I can extend this any farther. Is my only problem. Yeah, because it's already the width that I can use. So yeah, that's fair. But I do think we did manage possibly to come outside of it twice. No, maybe twice, maybe tipped through it just a tiny bit. Especially, yeah, maybe, but we never had any sustained. So I think if we did come up here, just a little projection. Let's say we get into wave 5. Whoops. Stupid trading view. Switching where all my stuff is at, so I get confused now. So if we did come up, boom, past all-time highs, then you'd have to go, and then you would bounce the demand. So you're going to hit here one way or the other. So whether you come to 4 or 450, you're going to come here one time. You're going to have to. You had resistance. Prior in the pattern a couple years, 7 years earlier, resistance in the same spot. Then it's going to come up, and then it's going to decide, are we going to stop at 549 and then come all the way back to 350, 360, 340, 380, and then bounce out? Do we come back into demand and try to see if we do have that support? Is that all of a sudden where we're like, you know, now we've run out of steam and we're going to try, but distribution breaks and then we come back? So there's a lot to be desired, but I think you'd most likely do something like that. You know, and then you would work your way back up. I drop water. Small amount.
Spilled it.
Yeah, just a tiny bit. I think so. And a new water. Because I drank all of mine. But I don't think it would. But be careful. Don't sell at 550 for 150. I think if it went to 550, I wouldn't be looking at 150. I would be very careful because I think it could very well hold that last all-time highs as support. So that's what I see. But guys, I'm gonna go because I want to go hang out with Julie. It's been 52 minutes. Thank you all so much. The members of Tom's Army, I greatly appreciate you. We didn't get any donations or anything, new members today, but it's not important. We had a great audience. We've had a lot of people in here, a lot of information shared. Oh, Canto real quick. For James, I want to do Canto or whoever else asked. Canto does look like, oh yeah, and Alchemy Pay on the way out, but this has an inverse head and shoulders on Canto. That's why I bought some. I bought, hell, I don't even know, 277,000 or something. And I believe it's starting to round here a little bit. And it could very well build that Hank Hill's ass in the smaller sections. But I think this is definitely going to be rounding the bottom here. I really do think there's a lot of potential here. And because if Ethereum gets hot, Canto loves, and I mean loves to go parabolic when Ethereum's hot. And there's probably not another token linked to Ethereum's, you know, the EVM, but linked to Ethereum in such a way that moves as fast as this does. I'm just being honest. There's probably not a lot that does it like that when it comes to kind of like a link to link. And then Alchemy Pay. This has an inverse head and shoulders as well. It's just a matter of is it going to print back down? But it is built out. It's starting to build out here. Hey, Shane, thank you so much for look at that. Shane with the 4-year badge. Shane with the 4-year the XRP Phoenix badge. Unbelievable. I didn't know anybody had it. And thank you for the $10 donation, everybody. I think everybody should show their appreciation for Shane. He's in Tom's Army for over 4 years. He's got the XRP Rising Phoenix badge. Unbelievable. That's unbelievable. You see that, Julie? 4-year badge. The Rising Phoenix badge. Holy shit, I forgot this is touchscreen. I can do whatever I want on the screen next to me. I can look, I got to heart it, Julie. on my other screen. I can talk on the other screen. Wow, that's unbelievable. Thank you, Shane. You're a big part of the reason why I was able to upgrade my technology over the years. I started with my phone, and I promised the community as long as I was getting support that I would put it back into the show. It's growing a lot. James, thank you so much for the $2 donation. I really appreciate that. ZBCN. ZBCN. I do have that on my charts. But inverse head and shoulders. We'll see if this breaks. And the next area is going to be just a little move to 3-2. And then maybe a little bit higher, but then we're going to come up a little bit. But eventually, that's another one that's prime in a position. And then ZBCN, although it broke out early, it's now got a back test. And I talked about this a lot. I know it came up prematurely, but I still think, and it came close now. It came within 147. We were thinking 141 area. And then it'll decide whether or not it's bullish or if that's a double top, and then we come back down and break that bearish pennant that we broke out of twice now. Last time we came right back into it. So we'll see. If it breaks out and is in an inverse head and shoulders, this thing is going to go wild. Like, it'll be at 3.5 or 4 at 004 before you can even blink. So definitely pay attention to. I'm out though, everybody. Thank you so much. Have a blessed evening. I love all of you, and I can't wait to do